If you dream of starting something big, my next guest, who is dedicated to doing just that, just might have the kind of advice you need. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. My guest today is Gwen Elliot. She's a young mediapreneur and creator and host of the show Start Something Big, airing on Rogers TV. Now, before you meet Gwen later in the interview, we'll take a break, but before we do, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip, and you'll hear Gwen's. Well, welcome to the show, Gwen.
Hi, Shannon. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
It's really great having you here. Now, you know, you are this young woman who is filled with vibrant energy. You're doing so much in your life. You are a TV show host and producer, and you're working on a few different shows. But there's a time in your life when you were uncertain of what was in front of you.
Oh, yes. Yes, there was a time. I know it's funny because nowadays, you know, if you were to look at my life or perhaps check out my life as I display it on Facebook, it looks like I have it all together. But, you know, just a couple of years ago when I graduated from university, I was at the lowest point I've ever been in my life. Want to hear about it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Want to hear about the low points?
Yes, let's hear about the low points.
Oh my God. Okay, well, how it all started was I was in my final year at Ryerson University in radio and television. And I had this amazing opportunity to live in California and intern at MTV in their series development department. And I got that internship just with good old-fashioned persistence and calling and snail mail and everything. But at the end of that internship, I had the most amazing opportunity of my life. I had the chance to interview at the Oprah Winfrey Network right when it was starting for an entry-level position with the head of development.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like a small town girl. I'm from Beaverton, Ontario, and like me sitting in OWN in Santa Monica, California was like I couldn't even.
Did you have to pinch yourself?
Literally, I actually showed up for this interview 2 hours early. I went there by like their public transportation and was like, I cannot be late. And then I just sat in an IHOP and just kind of collected myself before the interview. But I went in there and I had the interview and I thought it went great. But it didn't go great. I didn't end up getting the job. And that whole idea of, you know, the millennial generation, we're told that there's this dream job out there for you. And if you just follow the rules and go to university, you're going to get this great job and your life's just going to take off. And to me, that was the dream job, and I didn't get it. And I literally went from being on the couch at OWN to sleeping on my parents' couch like a week later, having no direction. And just getting into this state of analysis paralysis. I've heard this term and it just resonated with me. It means, you know, you're just thinking about what action to take, but not actually starting.
So thinking, dreaming, but not actually taking that first step or second or third.
Yes, because it's like, you know, there's so many options nowadays. You can literally do anything with your life. And when you're just starting out in the world, you're like, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to, you know, I've heard this analogy where you're leaning your ladder of success up against the wrong wall. So you could get to the top, but it might be the wrong career field. So it's just terrifying. So I got super stuck and just super, you know, went to the breakdown mode of just doing, like, couldn't figure out what to do and just being stuck.
Then what?
Well, so I started this blog. When I was sharing this idea of like, I want to make a TV show, I started sharing the idea with just some trusted friends. And a friend suggested, like, why don't you start a blog? That's what the kids today are doing. And I was like, yes, a blog. So I started a WordPress blog and I called it I Realize I'm Delusional.wordpress.com, just kind of as a joke. And the goal of the blog really, though, was to take 5 actions per day and document it about what I was doing to get closer to make a TV show, closer to being a TV show personality and producer. And this was both awkward and painful. Even like sometimes when I look back at it, I'm like, why would I put that on the internet? But, I was just me being real and just sharing, like today, I sent out an email to a production company, and then today I went to a coffee shop. This is actually one that I put down. I went to a Starbucks to work, and I hear a lot of TV people drink Starbucks. This was my young small town naivete coming out. But eventually through some research, I found out that Tom Green, because I was researching all these people who started something big, I found out Tom Green, comedian extraordinaire, started at Rogers TV. And I was like, local cable television. And then I literally, using my knowledge of how to make a treatment from MTV, I put it on paper and literally went on Rogers, and then it said, pitch your show here. So I did. And then, through the magic of the universe, got a meeting and got to pitch the show, got to make a pilot. The pilot went through, and then it was like, you're making a series, girl, go. So it just kind of all starts to happen when you start putting the work in.
Well, congratulations. Now, do you think it just saying the word yes to yourself was enough of an impetus?
Oh my God, what you just said is like a gold mine, because I truly believe the only person holding you back is yourself, always. Like if someone keeps saying no to you for a specific opportunity, you have to look within and see, maybe is that the right opportunity for me? Maybe I should be knocking on a different door. Or if you have that inner knowing that's the right door, then eventually it will open. It's pretty amazing. Just take the responsibility for yourself and magical things will start to happen in your life.
Now, Gwen, we're just going to take a break, and it means it's my good to know minute, and I know you've got a great success tip.
I do, and this one has carried me through so many times. I mean, what I believe is that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. This is a Jim Rohn quote. And essentially what that means is that you have to be very careful with who you spend your time with. You want to be around people who lift you higher, people who inspire you to be better. And don't hang around people who are telling you can't do it, because that's going to eventually happen.
Thanks for that. And that's good to know. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more on Extraordinary Women TV. So stay where you are. Welcome back to Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. I'm speaking with Gwen Elliot. She's the creator and host of Start Something Big, airing right here on Rogers TV. So let's just sort of recap. So you're a young woman.
Thank you.
You are. Yes, you are. You had a dream. It fell apart.
Yes.
You hit
So
rock.
true.
You hit rock bottom.
Yep.
You picked yourself up again, and you started to dream again, and you got this show off the ground.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Where are you going to go from here?
Oh man, that's a fantastic question. I feel like I've found my calling. Like I love to help people start and also connect with something bigger than themselves. So I want to just continue doing that and just keep making it bigger. I mean, one thing that you've done that I really admire and would love to do is write a book. I mean, writing a book to really, I feel like it would be such a cathartic experience, and to really give yourself the gift of time to share your story. And I would love to call it Start Something Big, and share people's stories about how they started. And ultimately, it's like when you read about how people start their careers, it's generally like awkward, humble beginnings. And when you see that, it's relatable. So, for example, the first story that really resonated with me was Mark Burnett's story. And he, of course, the producer of Survivor and The Voice and The Apprentice.
Sure. Yeah.
And he started his career as a live-in nanny.
Oh, who would have thought?
And he sold t-shirts on the Venice boardwalk before he became Mark Burnett, legend of television. So when I read that, I was like, oh my God. It was just kind of like an aha moment. And so yeah, I just want to keep sharing these stories, because in different industries, so people can see like, oh, okay, even though I'm working as a hostess at a restaurant, which is how I started, I can one day live my dream and do what I really want to do.
And what do you really want to do?
continue loving life and being happy. And no, truly, it's like, you know, I think about this a lot, maybe too much, but like, what is the purpose of life? Like, it's not a career. It's not, you know, any like money. It's not your house. It's like, really, I think it comes down to just being happy and having great relationships with people you love. So I want to continue doing that and just meeting amazing people who are passionate about what they do, because that passionate energy is contagious. And when I meet people like you who love what they do, it's like I leave here like joyous without any extra coffee. So it's great.
Extra coffee's key. Now, okay, I've now with all these people that you've read about, stories that you're writing and covering, how would you now define success?
Oh, that's such a good question. That is an incredible question. Okay, this is going to sound strange, but on one of the shows that I'm working on, I'm working for a show as well on the Military and the History Channel, and there's an author we interviewed for the show, and he said, you know, I define success at the end of the day when I look myself in the mirror and I just have that sly smile of contentment that, you know, that you get when you're proud of your day's work. So I like that, and I think I'm going to run with it. It's like when you look at yourself at the end of the day in the mirror, if you can smile and be like, damn, that was a good day, that to me is success. And also, you know, if you have the abundance and happiness to really choose to do the things that you truly want to do, that to me is also a very successful person.
What's the most memorable part of creating Start Something Big for you?
The most memorable part for me is ultimately just being proud of myself. Proud that I was willing to put myself out there and, you know, risk looking stupid. And if you want to see that, just go to irealizeimdelusional.wordpress.com. But, you know, just that pride that you had a dream and you decided, I'm going to start that. Because ultimately, we all have something in common who have a dream. We have to start somewhere. So I'm just proud to really have achieved, you know, the beginning of my life path.
Well, Gwen, I have really enjoyed having you here on the show and hearing your story. So I wish you all the best with your show and all that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Shannon. It's been so awesome to be on your couch. Thank you.
Well, for more information about my guests, to watch past episodes, I invite you to visit the website at extraordinarywomentv.com. And be sure to follow me on Twitter for updates. I'm always updating on my Twitter. Well, if you are interested in transforming your life, I hope these stories have inspired you. You've been watching Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. See you soon.